Rough Edge FM. Irritatingly irresistible internet radio at roughedgefm.com.
There's so much going on in your community that even in this age of information, it's tough to keep up. This show will help. It's all about what's new, what's happening, and what's out there. So if you're ready, sit back and listen up, Santa Paula.
All right, that's okay. So I went old school, John.
Yeah, you did.
I totally went old school.
I can't hear myself.
There you go.
There you go. All right.
All right. Yeah, so we're trying to be hip and do this whole thing of like, hey, welcome to show number episode 100. My name is James Lantine, and joined with, and then we roll into the introduction.
Yeah.
And I just rolled right into the introduction, right back to the old habits.
Yeah.
So,
exactly. Well, our engineer needs to get with the program.
he does. He's been sick for a couple of days. He finally feels better.
I heard. Yeah.
I won't mention where he might have possibly have gotten this from.
No idea.
None whatsoever.
No
I
idea.
was talking to John for a while.
Yeah, no.
Mhm.
No
So,
offense.
we have a ghost speaker in the. It sounds like that. So she's not. You're,
We need
yeah, I don't have the mic on yet,
to
but
turn our mic up.
I think we should just jump right into it.
Yes.
'Cause,
Too important of a guest.
She is way too important of a guest. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the one. Oh, by the way, show number 100. Congratulations!
Yes. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. I'm
Amazed that we've lasted this long together.
I know,
I know.
and we like don't hate each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
At least I don't think we do.
Well, we bring your wife in when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And therapy's been going very well. Thank you.
You're improving.
So,
Mhm. We try.
anyways, let's bring to the stage the one, the only, Mayor Leslie Cornejo.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
You did.
I did.
You did. Perfect.
Oh my gosh!
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good job.
See, I'm getting there. I'm learning not to pronounce my J's.
Very good. That's a
Mhm.
good start with mine.
Well, yeah, and it gets hard with me because it would be Hames,
Mhm.
which just doesn't sound right.
Yeah. Some
So-
people think it's Conejo, but that means rabbit, and we are not rabbit. So the Cornejo with the R in it
Mhm.
means dogwood tree.
Dogwood tree.
Dogwood
Yeah.
tree. How about that?
So
Mhm.
Conejo is rabbit.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. So Conejo
So-
Valley and all that.
Yeah.
Everybody confuses our name with that.
okay. So we are the white Conejo.
You guys, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
white
There you
rabbit.
go. You learned something new today.
Yeah, there you go.
Ah.
Because we have a magic club that we do that's called the Burrow,
Okay.
and then we have
Mhm.
an online community called the Warren.
Oh, boy.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Everything rabbit.
Yeah.
So,
perfect.
anyways, Leslie, I understand that you had a very interesting adventure coming here today.
I did, but
Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit embarrassed to say, but I'll tell you because I'm a travel agent. Even travel agents make mistakes.
No.
I was flying in from Phoenix and got to the airport ready to tip the Uber driver. And I realized that I had left my wallet in the safe. So I only have lectured like hundreds of people to make sure you empty your safe the day before. And there I was without my wallet at the airport had my ID in it and my, so I jumped in a taxi. It's 25-minute drive to the hotel, called the hotel. Security went into the room and got my wallet and had it ready waiting for me at the
Mhm.
desk when I got there. Taxi driver had the door open so I could jump right back in
Mhm.
and got back to the airport and made it with about 40 minutes to spare before the flight took off.
Wow.
I had carry-on luggage and I had my already pre-checked, so I had my boarding pass.
Mhm.
As luck would have it for me, fortunately, because I was just a lame brain today. Got through security. It was nobody in security. Got there and got on my plane. So that's why I'm actually here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will
Almost
say.
didn't.
Yeah.
I will say though, at least you're using your safe.
True.
Yeah.
And I insist on that for everybody. But then I insist that you empty it the night before. And I didn't.
Okay.
But that's why you go to the airport early in case something
Right.
happens.
That's exactly
so
right.
she did the right thing of going early.
Mhm.
So
See, she had
give her credit.
plenty of time to. Yeah.
Exactly.
Fix my own problem of my
Yeah.
own making.
So this is important for you to go through that experience so that you can explain to
Oh,
your
yes.
customers that this is
I tend to do that.
This
so
is
that I
why
can
you
just,
do those things.
so I can speak from experience.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I always need a story.
Yeah, well, that's what you do when you're as because you do. Actually, we haven't even explained what she does in her
She's
Right.
mayor.
job. No, mayor's
I have another job.
She has another
Yep.
job, so maybe explain what you actually.
Well, I own a travel agency and I
Mhm.
take groups.
Mhm.
And so I'm kind of host groups. That's kind of my real job, my
Mhm.
full-time job. And so when I travel, and I've been doing this for a number of years and have done things like go to Belfast consulate to help someone replace a lost passport,
Mhm.
or spent a day in a hospital when someone fell and broke an ankle. And
Yeah.
so usually everything goes really well and I prep everybody. They have now called it Leslie Boot Camp because I get everybody ready and they're all prepared. They have their packing lists and their
Yeah.
marching orders about showing up on time and all of that. And so it always really goes famously, but sometimes something happens. And so I'm just there to help along the way.
Now there's
so-
another chapter to add to the boot camp.
Right. Yeah, chapter 1.
So you're not a travel agent.
I'm a travel host also.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you actually go
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
sound like a job.
That's
Someday-
a pretty
I
cool
mean, it's
job.
It's a
like-
really
Yeah.
fun
Yeah.
job. Let's put it that
Yeah.
way. It takes a
It's
lot
like-
of work.
Okay, I'm gonna host you going to Hawaii. Come on.
Yeah,
You should see my binder. I have a 4-inch binder of paper that of all the stuff that has to get done before we put it together. But once we execute, we all have a good time.
and as a host, it's like herding cats sometimes, trying to get everybody in
Yeah.
directions
Yeah.
and stuff. So it's a lot of work being a
Yeah.
host.
Yep.
It
I'm
is.
running around the
Yeah.
ship. I get in my steps because I'm leaving notes
Yeah.
under doors for everybody. Don't forget the cocktail party
Yeah.
tomorrow. Group photo on Tuesday. That kind of stuff. So yeah.
So a group of people come together,
Mhm.
and then they book their travel through you,
Mhm.
and they also book you to host it, to keep
Yeah.
them all in line, to hit all the best spots and to see
Right.
all
Well,
the best
I actually
things.
kind of generate the trip. I pick places that I think people would like to go, or people have asked me. I keep a list. Hey, are you ever going to go to Santorini? Are you going to Ireland? Are you going, those kind of things. And so then I put them together.
Okay.
So it's a lot of times it's people that don't know each other and they make
Now,
friends as they travel.
I noticed that one of the trips that you just recently did was the eclipse.
Yes. Yeah, that was amazing. And we had 62 people.
Wow.
And then plus 2 that joined us from Australia that were friends of somebody on our group.
Mhm.
And that's by far biggest group I've ever done. But it
Wow.
was a special event and it was just amazing. It was
Yeah.
really something.
I've got nothing but positive feedback that I've heard about that trip.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
just love what you put together.
Yeah, it was.
Was it a cruise or
It
was
was a
it?
cruise out of LA round trip, and it was going to be in Mazatlan for the eclipse. But as it turns out, we were on Princess. They switched the itinerary so that we could be at sea, about 120 miles off the coast, so we could be directly under the eclipse. So we got 100% full eclipse experience on board, and so it was very special. to be a part of it.
Wow.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very
That
special.
is-
So everybody got their special glasses.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
That's such a great memory.
yeah,
for
it
people.
really was. And it was clear day. Captain the night before said, I'll take care of the ship. Passengers need to take care of the weather.
Yeah.
But it cleared up and we just had a really cool experience.
Oh, that's
Kind
amazing.
of once of a lifetime.
Once in a lifetime. Exactly.
Yeah. Will that ever happen again?
There's going to be one off of Egypt in 3 years, but
Okay.
that's in August. And I'm not sure I want to be in August in Egypt. So
Yeah.
I'd love to go to Egypt, but there are better times. I try and plan my trips around weather so we can get the most out of it.
Yeah,
But,
we don't want to go.
so I'm
in-
not sure.
Yeah. The heat's not good. Probably.
Yeah, because then that might not be bad, but all the other ports are going to be really hot too.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So I'm not sure. If a group came and said, let's do it, I'd probably do it, but I'm not going to push it just for that reason. I've been to the Mediterranean when it's really hot and it's like,
Yeah.
it's like a fry pan.
So you're the mayor of Santa Paula.
Yes.
You own this travel agency. How did you get into the travel business?
I sort of long story that I'll make short. I majored in Spanish in college and thinking I might be a teacher, high school English teacher or ESL, studied bilingual education and all. And after that, instead, I got a job working for a Mexican airline. So I worked for a Mexican airline, worked at the airport for several years and in reservations. And so then I was off on the path of travel instead. So my family had a different business here in town years ago, and they heard about an agency for sale. So my husband and I, Enrique and I, thought let's try this and buy, because we could have a normal life with a travel agency. You can have regular hours. Airlines, you never know when you're coming home and stuff. So so we've owned the agency for I think over 35 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. We've watched all the ups and downs.
So what brought you into politics?
I've always been interested. I've always kind of watched it and kind of had my finger on the pulse, kind of, let's say, but never had time to do it. And then COVID happened, and then we had no travel, nothing to do. So a friend of mine suggested that I run for office and run for council. And I thought, well, I have time to run, and I didn't know what was going to happen afterwards. Are we not going to come back to our business or whatever? So anyway, I did run, and it was the weirdest campaign though, because during COVID you couldn't do events.
Right.
You couldn't go door to door and meet people. So everything had to be by just doing door hangers, signs, and advertising, word of mouth. And that's how.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a really strange year to campaign. So,
Yeah.
but I did win, and I really, really like being involved, and did no regrets, even as busy as it gets sometimes. So I'm very busy now because business with the travel has come back as well. So it's kind of a daily balance, trying to make sure it's all done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say you've done a great job on council, especially as mayor. You've
I
done
appreciate
a fantastic job.
That's really nice to hear.
Yeah.
You never know when you're doing it, how it's coming off
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well,
but
I think it's amazing that the Union Oil building, that you were able to get that, and you were able to get $2 billion.
That was an oops on the part of Chevron. It was 2 million with an M.
Oh, I thought maybe you guys became
we
such
couldn't make
best
that
friends
stick.
that
She accidentally started to say with a B, but she corrected it too quickly.
Yeah.
Even still, that's such a great gift to the city.
It
Oh,
is.
yeah.
And Chevron doesn't do that.
They
kind of
don't.
stuff.
They don't.
You know?
They have their facilities, and most of it is unwinding and undoing and cleaning and doing the environmental stuff on whatever they have. But this was just a jewel that they acquired it because it was Union Oil, and then when they acquired Union Oil, that's how they ended up with this just beautiful historic building. So I get to take credit by being at the podium, accepting and all this kind of stuff, but it's been a 2+ year project, maybe going on 3 years, between staff and former mayors as well at each step, trying to negotiate this, build the trust, which really says a lot about our staff and our city, that they would give us such a special gift.
I think I really enjoyed her speech when she was saying that she just came in to become president, and she gets this paper across her desk, and she's like, well, that's a big no.
Right.
But it's like everything else. When you listen to the story of our community, you just start to fall in love with what we do here.
Yeah.
And the people here. And the city staff and council just done a great job of kind of telling the story to Chevron.
Yeah.
Well, the reality is what are they going to do with it?
Nothing.
True. And it does need maintenance, and it needs sustainability. And so that was going to be a major project for them, that was not their forte either.
Right.
So it's in our hands now, and we're working on figuring out what to do with it. We've had RFPs that have gone out. We're doing some interviews and just seeing what possibilities, what ideas, what commitments people will make for the building. And then we'll make some decisions later this year on this direction. So
yeah, it's exciting to see what the potential that building could have.
Yeah.
So
it's
really
just
good.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
We were doing a tour with the Chevron folks, and the history of every single piece that's in there is just amazing. Even the stained glass, they said, when they were cleaning it up, they had been blacked out for years, which they assume goes back to the war, when they had to have the windows blacked out. And so they uncovered all these just beautiful stained glass.
Yeah.
So,
and I know I toured upstairs, and it had, all the records, the handwritten records. It's it's just amazing all that stuff that's there, and it's just
Yeah.
like it's so cool to see that. You
Yeah.
know,
You know what I found amazing was the 20 cents per gallon of gas.
Yeah.
yeah.
Those are the good old days for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But we did see a checkbook that was 130 years old in there.
Mhm.
The archivist did
Was the
already
account still
have-
open?
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it's probably closed, long closed. But the archivist was there, and they had already been through all of the documents,
Mhm.
and they have taken a number of documents that we wish we had our hands on, because some of them are original blueprints
Mhm.
and things like that for the building. But I think they're going to digitize it, so they'll at least be available to everybody that way.
Mhm.
But they've left us an awful lot of really interesting stuff, though.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
still a
that's
lot of
so
museum
cool.
pieces. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what you're doing? So,
I-
I'm just gonna ask. So, you've been mayor what, 4 months now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So, how do you like it?
I really do like it.
Well,
know.
compared to being just a regular city council member, how's it different?
It's the goods and the bads. You get the attention because
Mhm.
you're the one that gets the quotes in the paper.
Yeah.
You're the one that's speaking for the city.
Mhm.
You're the one who's presiding over, council meetings or special events.
Mhm.
So it's more work. And more attention both.
Yeah.
So it's good and bad. You're called to a lot more meetings.
Yeah.
So it's time consuming,
Mhm.
but I did make a commitment this year. I'll go to everything I can. You call me, I come.
And you've been great about that.
And really trying.
Yeah.
I just think it's important if you make that commitment,
Mhm.
that you do your best
Yeah.
to be there.
And most of the council members are great about attending events in general.
Yes.
This is one city where our council members, one, all get along.
Yep.
And two, they support everything in the community. If they can make it, they're there. So as through the chamber, we really appreciate, council members, even city staff coming to all of our events. It makes a huge difference to our small businesses that are there. They really see that there's a support system
I
behind
think
them.
it adds some
Yeah.
weight and support to any event you have if the
Mhm.
council shows up. And that's why it's important that we do. And you're right. Our council is fantastic about it. It'll be something like one's missing. Well, why? Because we're so used to everybody showing up to everything.
Mhm.
It's usually because someone's out of town
Yeah.
or they have an obligation, but everybody comes to everything
Yeah.
and they're very supportive. We don't always agree on everything. We don't
No.
always have unanimous votes, but we have a really good working council, and everybody arrives studied. They
Mhm.
already have, sometimes you've got, like for tonight, we've got a council meeting tonight, and it's a really light agenda
Mhm.
for us. And it's only about 150 or 60 pages that we have to read. But very oftentimes it's 600, 800 pages.
So that's
Wow.
light tonight.
Yeah.
I'm used to seeing the
Yeah.
500-600 pages on
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
I got to preside over the biggest agenda in pages, not in hours or discussion, because there was a lot of backup engineering stuff.
Mhm.
But I think it was something like 1,400 pages
Yeah.
that you're at least responsible for being familiar with. Of course,
Holy
true
cow.
confessions, we don't read every word, but
Yeah.
but at least we have to be familiar enough
Yeah.
with what's going on so we can make a good decision.
You can see that at council when they're talking amongst themselves, that you see that they've done their homework. They come with great questions, and it's great that you all work together, even though you don't always agree.
Right.
And it's okay to agree to disagree on things, but as
Yeah.
long as they work together, move forward.
Yeah.
I think it's a council that works really well as a whole.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think one of the things that's amazing is a lot of people think that it's a paid position.
Yeah.
And you do get a small stipend, but
Mhm. It is truly public service. You really
Yeah.
have to care.
Mhm.
And this council clearly does. Everyone on this council,
Mhm.
I have highest respect for, even again, coming from different maybe agendas or
Mhm.
opinions on some things. A lot of things we agree on because we know it's the right thing to do
Yeah.
for the city.
Mhm.
Where we differ, we're very respectful of each other.
Mhm.
And again, you have to respect someone who's coming from the heart with their own opinion,
Yes.
and it's genuine, and
Mhm.
so they're afforded that due respect too.
Yeah.
So, but we're nobody goes back and badmouths anybody afterwards if they've made a decision that's different from what you want and that kind of stuff.
And they always find the common ground either way.
Yeah.
you know, and it's good not to all agree all the time on everything.
It's healthy. It's
Yes,
healthy.
it
You
is
get all of
healthy.
you get different perspectives on the issues and stuff.
I look at that with councils. If they're constantly always agreeing on everything or always disagreeing, then that's really not
Yeah.
helping the community.
No, you need a healthy debate.
Exactly.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
we
Yeah.
always welcome that.
Right,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to do something for you real quick, John. So we have we had our meeting at the award ceremony as well as the state of the city.
Yeah.
And we had a few glitches,
Yeah.
I will say, with the production, which
happens.
had nothing to do with the creator of the production.
Who created that? Yeah.
So I'm just saying for the record. So so we've had 100 shows, and I'm going to play this just to take a look back at what last year brought us.
Very cool.
All right.
So okay, so that's kind of a highlight of
Really nice
2023.
video. Yeah. I know you guys are probably beating yourself up, and it wasn't anything that you did, but when you want something to be perfect and show it the other night, it's wonderful that you're posting it here. so
3
you can see it.
times in practice.
Yeah.
And what it was, somebody left the switch on for Spotify, and that's what messed it up. So when we were doing the background music, and we couldn't turn it off during the video.
Yeah.
Luckily, Jonathan Roy's figured it out, and that way it didn't interfere with when you
Right, when we were
Yeah,
but still,
so-
you can just beat yourself up afterwards for it, but it
totally
was
out of our control.
yep, but it
You
was
know.
it's just lovely. It
When you spend 16 hours on a video.
makes me work. Yeah.
You got to show it though. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, that's
So,
great. It
I
was
will
so
say this:
nice.
we've got more positive feedback from our event last Thursday. A lot of people did not realize what Santa Paula's doing.
Yeah.
And these events are about bringing awareness to our community. We had a lot of people that came from outside of Santa Paula that were invited guests, and they're just like, wow, we didn't realize this is happening. So things we're doing as a chamber, things that this positive things that the city's doing too. I mean, they were impressed with everything you presented, and they were just like in amazement of what's happening.
It's really and it's an exciting time for our city.
Yes,
It really is.
Yeah.
So
I just feel this energy and pride too.
Yes.
We're always been kind of like, I've always hated this because for all the years that I've had a business here, it's like we get no respect kind of thing,
Mhm.
and it's, I know the people.
Mhm.
They're just such a wonderful community,
Yeah.
big heart, and we deserve to have the best.
Yeah. And a lot of it, though, I look at it through my lens, is that we have to get ourselves involved.
Yes.
And a lot of times with myself, when I first started, we had like zero respect, as far as even our chamber and stuff. So I started joining boards. I started going to meetings I really didn't need to go to, but I just went just to bring awareness to. Now I'm on some of these executive boards and we have a bigger presence now. Not that I'm going to move that needle, but it's just showing up, people that are showing. And now they see council members that attend everything. They see city staff members that are going to some of these meetings and stuff. And they're seeing this real huge movement in Santa Paula. I mean, our Santa Paula and Film are the only two cities that are growing in population because guess what? Housing. So we're seeing that, but we're showing up now. And so now it's kind of like we're demanding respect because we are doing the work. We are going out there and spending the time and investing in that instead of just I always tell people, don't just sit there and say, we're not getting the respect. We're not doing this. Make a difference. Get out there, get involved, and you'll see the change. And that's happening now.
Yeah.
And so it's really good to see everybody collectively working together now. And it's really, it's a fun time.
And even on, sometimes, you get in a room on a big issue and there are people who've been on opposite ends of things over the years. And yet they're all here. They're all showing up for Santa Paula.
Yeah.
And people are more anxious or willing to join in because they don't feel like they're the only ones.
Yeah.
They see something good happening and that really builds. It kind of snowballs. And we're feeling that.
A lot of them are like, how do we get involved? And it's
like,
come and join us.
There's
we have something for you,
Right.
So
Here's the one thing I hope Santa Paula never loses. Because as it grows and as it becomes more popular and as people start to become more aware, I hope Santa Paula always keeps that hometown community. Because that's what makes Santa Paula so beautiful. And if all of a sudden all of the big box stores start moving in and all of these other big things start happening and all those little people who drove Santa Paula to make it to what it was, all get dropped into the shadows.
And that's what we're talking about when we're going back to the Union Oil building. It's respect for the past, respect for who we are. Our history, the people who've grown here generations and the new people. The new people come in because they see something good. And so we want to maintain that for everybody too.
Right.
I got an email today from the Chevron president and just a follow up after our great events and everything. And she said she was just captivated by our city. She loved it. And she will come back to visit us because of that heart. She felt it at that ceremony for the oil museum or the oil donation and dedication, better to say. She was just so touched by our community. And she sees that, and she's a world traveler, and she knew there's something special about this community. So they left feeling really good about what Chevron has done for
maybe that 2 million will become 2 billion.
You can work on it.
But, to your point about keeping that small town charm, that's one of my challenges all the time. It's like we want businesses to come in, we want to grow, we need to grow smart,
right?
But we can't lose that vibe, especially like in our downtown area. And that's what we have now, a district that these property owners understand that they need to help keep that the way it is, but build it up. So I'm glad to see that we even have our property owners that are stepping up, and they're trying to improve the area and keep that charm, that vibe. And you sit on the committee with me and stuff, and it's and you're seeing the better discussions we're having now, and it's just and we want to keep that, but we understand we need to grow too.
Yep.
So
grow, keep things spruced up.
Yeah, we are going to grow. We're on the east end of town. Yes, that's going to happen, but there's still a way to keep our vibe downtown and just in general that small town charm. And I think collectively, if we work together, it'll stay. Yeah. It will. Yeah.
So we are just about out of time, but I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
First thing that pops to your mind, what's one of your more proudest moments as being mayor?
To be honest, I think it was the swearing in of the new officers that we had with the police department, because that was just a sign of our whole community coming together and getting a chance to show our support for the police department. We've had so many people applying, and we've got such a great department, and they're all happy to be there. So being a part of that awareness and movement to show support, and then going to those the swearing in, 2 large ceremonies that we've had, and meeting the families and the new officers that we have coming in that are, they're dedicating their careers to our city and protecting us. And so that's just been really important for me. And to see that happen, we just had a lot of challenges last year of lost employees and lost officers to other agencies, things like that kept happening. And we all rallied. The city rallied to the point where we showed our heart in our caring for our RPD, and they all came in.
It was such a cool ceremony.
Yeah.
I've been to several of them, and that was by far the coolest ceremony.
Yeah.
Because for to your point of we got depleted, and now we're seeing this comeback, and people and officers that want to be here.
Yeah, they're smiling. They're excited
young,
to be a part.
Exciting. It was great to see that, and the family's excited. It was. I think everybody in the city and the community felt it. Yeah. So that was cool.
And one thing you hope to be able to accomplish before you leave?
Oh gosh, not fall off a stage.
That's a good accomplishment.
Before you close, I do want to congratulate you on this work and their 100th show. It's just such a wonderful service that you are providing. I'm honored to be a part of this today. It's really
thank
cool.
you.
Thank you for asking me to be here.
So I believe we have the commander coming on next week.
Really? Okay.
Oh,
good.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're going to be doing a regular every other month
Fantastic
visit to talk about things that are happening in the community.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, we're adding things. We're going to be doing business spotlights more. We're going to be adding different. It took us 100 episodes to figure this out. So now
took 100 episodes to figure out whether or not
I'm glad I waited till 100.
Took 100 episodes to figure out whether or not John and I wanted to continue to do this together.
So we're starting to build some momentum, and it's just another avenue for people to get information.
Right.
There's this current leadership academy that the city's putting on, which is fantastic. And last night, part of the discussion was how do we communicate how do we get information out to the community?
Yeah.
It was interesting how there's so many different variations of how they get information. Yeah. And they're like, if we can figure out how to get one place to get all our information, so that's something we're all working to improve that to get it out. Because even no matter how hard you try, somebody never gets the information.
That's just it. How come I didn't know about that? And you're like, oh, we have so newspaper. It's on websites. It's on Facebook and Instagram. You name it.
So having been in the digital marketing arena for about 10 years now, the one thing I've learned is there is no one way to do it.
So you got to do it all.
There's absolutely no one way. You're going to miss out on somebody if you focus in one area.
Well, you guys are doing a great job, though. This is a really great service.
Now, of course, listening to John and I is probably the best way.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Of course.
Highly recommend. 5 stars.
We're going to keep trying.
All right, Leslie, thank you so much for joining us.
I
wish you well in your business, and congratulations on a great mayorship.
Yep. And not like my purse in the safe anymore.
Well, no, those are important things. They're sometimes we do it intentionally without realizing it. so that we can illustrate.
There, someone can
point.
learn from my mistake. There you go.
You got to illustrate a point.
It's another chapter in your book.
That's right.
So, anyways, thanks all for listening. Show number 100 is now in the can. Woo.
Exactly.
It's all downhill from here, John.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
we'll keep going.
all right, we'll see y'all next week.
Thank you.
Thanks.
This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.
Rough Edge FM.